Hey everyone, it's Nick from Nick's Crossing. Welcome back to the train room for a great review today. Just picked up one of these rare babies right here for a review, so here we go. All aboard. Alright guys, so I finally got a holy grail of my own. Check her out. Look at this, the 462 3785 from K-Line, the girls train. Look at that. Very, very cool. Now, it's very interesting that this is a 462 because the Lionel girls train, I believe, is a 264. Yeah, so I got a Pacific 462, my favorite locomotive of all time. I've got a Pacific up here, and check out her tender. Look at that. And this is pure K-Line. No Lionel mischief. No Lionel messing things up for K-Line. This is pure K-Line. Came in the big black box that said die cast. And the tender's not die cast, but the shell of the locomotive is. It's got a little bit of weight to her. But when I sat this on the tracks for you guys for one of the run day sessions, the Monday run days, all you guys were saying, hey, that's totally a Marks ripoff. It's a Marks 333. The picture of that is right here. So check out that tooling, and then we'll slowly convert to this. Look at this. The exact, same exact tooling, even down to the trailing truck and the front. It's totally a Marks 333. Heavily influenced. I don't want to call it a ripoff here, but I would say that there was some mischief going on. Maybe someone didn't want to retool something and they just started going after the 333, which I plan on buying. I do want to get a Marks 333, run them at the same time, put them next to each other on the shelf, maybe do a compare and contrast video. I think that'd be kind of cool. Marks stuff is hard to find, but the almighty eBay actually has a couple of 333s available. So that's in the future works. On another note, the tender whistle does not work. So this guy has a beautiful air whistle, and yeah, I've tried it with the control module that the box had in it for the whistle. She doesn't want to work, but I have good news, guys. So we're going to do another video on the girls train with me shoving a rail sounds unit inside that tender, and I picked up a really cool rail sounds unit. I picked up a PRR K4 hooter whistle style for a Streamline K4S, and that was in the TMCC Streamline K4s, also known as the torpedo or the gunmetal torpedo set. I picked it up on eBay, said it worked. He sells it with the little magnetic switch. Also, the speaker is brand new. All of that is going to be shoved into this tender right here. So we'll have a Pacific with a Pacific whistle. And according to this K-Line set, it is a Pennsylvania, so it'd be really cool. So guys, this set came out in 1992, and I only have the engine, tender, and this is like a diamond in the rough right here. Look at this. Got the baby blue caboose. It's not the porthole window. This is the K-Line version with the square windows. But the porthole version is very famously known for the Lionel girls train set, even the anniversary set. But this set would have come with, you can see it right here on the screen, we have 2 boxcars, a gondola, and also the caboose, and I believe a covered hopper as well. Now, I actually have a relative that has this entire set, and it is just so cool. It's a great running set, and I will say one thing with the motor in this set. The motor is a direct drive. It's not like a flywheel motor, so when you come down on the L power right here, the big old L, got to come down nice and slow or you'll grind the gears. You'll hear it stop and it's just bad news. So got to treat her like a baby. I mean, she's pink. Got to be very gentle with the pink beauty and just let her ride, and when it's time to slow her down, you got to gradually turn her down. But other than that, it's a great runner. So let's get her on the tracks for a great review. This engine is so cool, and I can't wait to put that rail sounds unit in this locomotive in the part 2 video. Alright guys, so here she is trackside. This is a beautiful piece, and she is die cast, just very gently so you guys can hear it. It's not plastic. The tender's plastic, but the locomotive is a rough die cast shell. It's pretty simple, and I love the simplicity of this model. It just screams classic toy trains to me. All the parts here are metal. Everything is metal, minus the number board up top that lights up 3785. Also, you have the marker lights up top and the front plate, and the headlight also illuminates. On top of that, if we give her power, she might try to move on me. Yep. Let's see. Put her in neutral. This locomotive has something very interesting. It's called a sooth smoker, and she just billows out smoke. So you can idle this locomotive all day, and the smoke unit won't you know, it won't burn out on you because it's not chuffing out smoke. This one is meant to just kind of fizzle out smoke like a smoking caboose, smoking diner. A lot of awesome stamp parts in here. I love all the riveting. It's just very simple. And this locomotive, like I said, is just a classic 027 piece. And I actually do recommend running this on larger turns than 027 or 031 because of the weight. You don't want to see this tip. I mean, she is pretty light, even though being made of metal. You don't want to see her like fly off a curve, especially with the rarity and collectability of this locomotive. Now, the tender is really cool. Let's move her up. Let's push her up there. She is so light. The tender has tons of post-war style riveting, and in the back you actually have these little handrails. I thought that was a really cool touch on top of the tender right there. And also we have sprung trucks. Now this tender is also extremely light, and the rollers also slide out of the track, similar to the caboose. Now they also added little ladders down here, operating rear coupler, die-cast trucks, which is fantastic. So let's move her up again, and I'll show you guys the caboose. Now the caboose I would love to upgrade to an LED because this caboose gets very, very hot. There's a halogen style light in there, and man, she gets warm. I do not want this caboose to warp or move or do anything weird, especially if I run this in command control with another locomotive. Yeah, bad news. You can see someone did a wiring job underneath. There's some like red wires sticking out there. But yeah, it's a really cool piece. Now, let me turn this engine off. There we go. This whole set was purchased at two different places. I actually got the caboose at the Kutztown flea market up there with the Kutztown flash train meet. There we go. And then this locomotive right here was actually purchased at Star Hobby of Annapolis, and that is such an amazing shop. Guys, they have so much O-scale in there. You could be there for hours looking through stuff. Lots of Weaver, K-Line, Lionel, Rail King, new, old, used, everything. Project stuff, you know, engines that just need some TLC, new and box stuff. This was new, old stock right here. So it's just a fantastic shop right there in Annapolis before you go over the Bay Bridge to Ocean City. And if you guys are ever going down there, stop off at Star Hobby. You guys will have a great time. Alright guys, so there is a backstory of why us crazy three-railers love this pink train. So going all the way back to 1957, 1958, Lionel came out with the girls' train, the 2037 set, also known as the Adriatic series, the 264 locomotive. The 264 2037 was the biggest flop in Lionel history. They thought the girls would love it, get the whole family on the floor playing with trains, and the boys could play with their, you know, mean, scary-looking black post-war trains, and the girls could play with their pink pastel train with all the beautiful cars and all of that. It didn't work out like that. The set was a huge flop, and the 2037 became one of the most rare train on all three rails in this hobby. To this day, I've only seen two girls' train sets, original 2037s, and they're both at hobby shops, up in the ceiling, up in the rafters. You look up like that, you're like, whoa, is that what I think it is? They're like, yes, don't even ask about it. And a 2037 set with all the cars, all the pastel cars, goes for big money. It's a down payment on a car. I've seen them go up to $5,000 at auction, all the way down to like $3,000 or so. They're very rare. There's actually two variations of the 2037 locomotive. There's a rubber stamping. I forgot to mention that the decals on my engine are also blue, but the 2037 had rubber stamping, which is equivalent to like when we were kids, we had the water tattoos growing up. You know, you put the little pad, you wet it down, hold your hand on it, let it heat up, and you peel it off. That's a rubber stamp style. It's the best way I can describe that. And then they had the heat stamp. Now, I'm sure the rubber stamp of the 2037 is much more rare than the heat stamp, but still rare in its entirety. So 1957, 1958, there you go. Now, K-Line also made a switcher, a pink girls' train switcher in the same color with, I believe, the same numbering, 3785. They also have, later on, Williams came out with a girls' train GG1 that's very collectible. And Star Hobby, where I picked this locomotive up, actually has a full GG1 girls' train set, still in the original Williams trains box. Alright guys, so I don't have all the girls train cars. I just have that beautiful blue caboose. So what I'm going to do is match her up with cars that would have come in the set but are in prototypical colors. So that's what I got for you. We'll run a small freight train so I don't stress out this little engine. But I've got a covered hopper. It's a PRR Norfolk Southern anniversary hopper from Menards. I've got 2 box cars you can put on there, Pennsylvania box cars, and a PRR gondola. So we'll have a whole PRR consist. It'll look just right. So here we go, guys, for the run session. All aboard. Alright everyone, so that's going to do it for this review of the beautiful K-Line Girls Train, the 3785 462 PRR Pacific style. There you go. She's not a bell pair, but she's PRR, and that's cool with me. And I cannot wait to get those rail sounds and that pink tender back there and make some noise. I'm sitting here at the review, I'm like hitting the whistle, I'm like, oh right, there's no whistle. So it was a very, very quiet run session, and this locomotive runs so quiet. It's a perfect Christmas tree train, and I don't mean that in any negative shape or form. I mean that in a positive way. It's nice and quiet, so if you have people over, you can run the locomotive under your tree. It's not making a racket like some of my post-war beauties back there on the shelf. You know, you turn one of those on, you hear people, you know, it's kind of loud. Can you turn that train down? I'm like, nope. So this is a perfect runner. If you're having friends over, you just want to sit up here late at night running a train, fantastic. And it's almost midnight recording this review, so perfect time, perfect engine for this time and space at the moment. But anyways, if any of you guys are new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss reviews just like this. Giving the video one of these really helps out. Love reading your guys' comments. Tell me what you think about this 3785. If you have a girls' train at home, I'd love to know about it. They're really cool pieces. Until next time, everyone, happy railroading. We'll see you next time. See you guys.